throw up.
That's so
I'll
sad.
just throw up if I try.
Hey everybody, welcome to Beach
Hi.
Theory. We're back for another fun-filled, fantastic episode.
Fun-filled fantastic.
We got some fun stuff to talk about today.
Yep.
Last time we talked about Charlie's birth and his little cuteness and
CVX Live.
how it literally like overlapped with CVX Live. You know, you joked about having Charlie on stage at CVX. You were so close. You really almost could
I
have.
really could have if I wasn't working so hard to make it to CVX.
So today we are going to be talking about buying our first home.
We were so excited to do this.
Yes, for years. When I was a teenager, I used to read books about investing in real estate and purchasing homes. And it's always been a dream of mine to be able to own homes and real estate. And
Yep.
we worked our butt off.
Your dad owns homes. And that was like one of the first things you talked to me about. You were like, I'm passionate about a few things. This is what I want to do in life. I want to be a beekeeper and I want to be in real estate. So I want to own a bunch of houses and get to a point where I only have passive income so I don't even have to work.
That's how the rich do things. I learned. I studied, and that's what I want.
You're like, well, I'm going to make it happen. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
So we were working our butts off with YouTube, and Charlie was born, CVX happened. So actually, before we get into actually the process of and finding the house, buying the house, right at CVX, I met some people who said, hey, look, we get together every month as YouTubers, and we talk best practices, and we network, and we learn from each other. And I was just like, where has this been all my life?
Sounds like everything we need at this point.
Yeah, like this literally is an answer to my prayers. I want to network with other YouTubers. How can I get involved?
CVX was actually an answer to a lot of our prayers.
Absolutely.
Like, not just in that way, but just so the connections that we needed so badly were all made there.
And it was cool too because we'd had several years of experience by the time CVX came around that we weren't new to YouTube. We were familiar with it. We weren't very good,
Yeah.
But we at least were like not noobs.
Yeah.
We were,
but we weren't.
Relatively to where we are now, we were. But at the time in our life, we were comfortable with the process.
Yeah. And
we had a lot of content.
I think for the group that we went to see, like to be around the YouTubers group, I think we were pretty experienced. Yeah. Like maybe in comparison to a lot of the people that would go there.
Definitely.
And that helped our confidence level a lot.
I do remember this. Actually, this is interesting. I forgot to mention this in the last podcast. But at CVX Live, I remember there were a couple of YouTubers whose channels were featured that we were bigger than.
That's right. And I
remember being really, really frustrated about that.
How are they featured and we're not? We have more subscribers than them. Yeah. That was so frustrating.
I just barely remember. I forgot about that until just now.
Yeah.
And just kind of feeling like the injustice. But regardless, we got connected into the YouTube community. We started going to their monthly meetings and we met a lot of really cool people.
Yes.
The first meeting that we ever went to, Ellie and Jared were presenting.
That's right. And I had a brand new baby because it was right after CVX.
And she did too.
She did too. She had
what's her second, Calvin?
Calvin, I think.
Yeah.
And so we both had little new babies that were super cute little boys. And
I think
good connection.
I think at that time when they presented and we met them, I think they were only at like a few 100,000 subscribers. I think they were like 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but that was huge.
To us at the time.
Yeah.
But that's just crazy to imagine them like that small.
Yeah.
Compared to where they are now.
Yeah.
But we've actually gotten to know them pretty well over the last bit.
I mean, they recognize us.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, we don't hang out with them very much.
We hung out with the Geek High guys a lot. And
that's true.
A few other places we've seen them. I wouldn't say we're buddies.
There's a lot of people that we've been able to interact with and become acquaintances of that we are like, wow, we know them. But they're like, who are you again? Oh, yeah, that's you.
Well, it's interesting because it's like there's certain people, they just don't let you in.
Yeah.
Like you meet them. And you might even be on the same level, but they just never emotionally let you in.
And we're not saying that that's how they are necessarily, but it's just, I think, something that I've noticed with OG YouTubers is that they have their guard up.
Yeah.
I think they've been through a different learning curve with fans than we have, because I think even fans treated original YouTubers more like celebrities than YouTubers. Like, it's become over the years a little bit more like, oh, they're a YouTuber, not a celebrity.
Right.
But at first it was like, they're a celebrity, because it was way less saturated, and it was more like being a celebrity, I feel like.
Yeah, and maybe they're a little bit more careful because they've had people try and get close to them.
They've probably been burned, yeah.
Who are just trying to, like, milk the relationship.
Yeah.
And ride off the coattails of their fame.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, you know, you're only trying to be my friend because I'm famous. And so because of that, they're like, I can't let you get close to me for
do we do that?
Obvious reasons. Well, I just feel like I'm so busy.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have time. I don't even, like, my mindset is I don't even hardly have time to, you know, talk to my own brothers and sisters.
That's a very good point. And you know what? We both have 9 brothers and sisters, different families.
We have huge families. So it's like, if I don't even have time for my own family, I'm not going to go out of my way to make time. I've had one of my best friends that I've had for 10 years, you know, from the time that me and Rebecca first met.
Yeah.
I met a guy and we've been buddies for years and years. Just last year, recently, he said, look, we're not friends anymore. You never make time to hang out with me.
You're not invested in this friendship.
And I was like, you know,
I'm so sorry.
It is what it is. I'm not going to change. You know, well, I'm working to provide for my family and to have a good life and do my dream.
You just grow. Like, the more family you have, the more kids you have, the more busy you get, the more.
Totally.
Like, we've been really, really working hard to make as much money as possible, and it's not just for us.
Right.
Like,
absolutely,
we have a lot of employees and we have a lot of family,
for our kids, and it's for your parents and your siblings, and like, we're trying to build something, and then also I want to invest in real estate, like you talked about
so
before.
It's like we have all these dreams and these goals, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of work, and we have never really been the type of people that, like, reach out socially to other people all the time. You know, like, I feel like we're social, but we're not.
We're social media people.
I don't know. It's really weird. I guess what I can say is that I don't feel like I need friends outside of my family, because my family is so large and his family's so large.
Yeah, that's true.
And I have, like, built-in friends, if that makes sense.
So if you're ever like, I need a friend right now,
don't come to us. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
What I'm saying is, like, for you emotionally, when you're feeling a need of a friend, you go to your siblings or your parents, and you get all the fulfillment that you need.
I mean, I do have friends, though. I'm not saying, like, I don't have any friends or that. Of course. Like, I have people that I have let in, and I don't know. But most of them are from before YouTube. Yeah. Because I just...
But we also have a lot of friends that we've met since YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. I think I have...
That are some of our best
way more friends since YouTube, actually. Like...
Well, it kind of incentivizes you to be social.
Yeah.
You know?
Because your channel grows when you are social. Like, when you have other YouTubers on your channel, it grows better.
Yeah. Even relationships with other people, once you're in the YouTube space, becomes a business transaction. Yeah. As weird as that is to say, like, it's uncomfortable saying that just because it sounds very shallow and robotic.
But it literally works that way.
Yeah.
So it's not, in a way, it's like you have to do... This is how I feel when it comes to relationships with other YouTubers. You have to do enough collaborations that it breaks past that point of being a collaboration. And it starts...
And becomes a friendship.
Becoming a friendship. I agree. Like, I think we have a lot of friends that we've been able to do that with. And I think the ones that we haven't are still in the collaboration phase.
Yeah.
Like... It's weird.
It's like,
it's weird.
It's like in normal life, you've got, like, acquaintances, and then you've got, like, friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes friends, best friends. And then YouTube, it's like you've got, oh, I know of this YouTuber.
Acquaintance.
Oh, we've collaborated once or
Collaborator.
Oh, we're like best collaborations. We're always hanging out and collaborating. It's just the same.
Yeah,
it's just a different pattern.
Different definition.
Purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so we met the presenters and we met a lot of other YouTubers that were just getting started, and I think there's something special when you meet another YouTuber that's like on the same level as you.
Oh yeah.
And when you're like, hey, I'm at 1,000 subscribers. Hey, I am too. Let's be best friends.
It's like being in the same grade as someone at school.
Totally.
And clicking with them.
I'm 9. Oh, I'm 9 too. But I'm 9.5.
Well, let's be best friends.
Oh, you're 9.5. That's too old.
No.
You know? Like when you're a little kid, that means a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're 10. Ooh, they're really old.
They're so old. They're such a big channel.
Right. And so, like, you know, there's always going to be that certain bond that you have with a YouTuber that you've met when they were tiny.
And even...
And you, like, became friends even when they were small.
Yes.
You were friends with me when I was nobody.
Yes, and it makes a difference. It does.
We're still friends.
And it's not that we can't let anybody else in that's not, like... supporting us because of that, right. You know, but like we have a good connection with like the Ohana Adventure and the Tannerites, and
I think we try extra hard to be kind to everyone.
Yeah.
Especially because everyone has value.
Yeah.
But also from the business perspective, you never know what channel is going to explode from out of nowhere.
Totally.
And so you don't ever want to treat someone badly.
But it's also just, you should just never treat anyone badly. But it works. The right thing to say. Totally. Okay. I guess a good way of putting it is you can't judge anyone when it comes to YouTube because you can tell them, oh, yeah, YouTube is saturated. Oh, you can't survive. You won't thrive, whatever. But if you have enough passion, if that person has enough passion and they have a good idea and they just go with it, they could be bigger than you in a month. You never know.
Absolutely. That reminds me of what you said. You know, remember when Shay Carl said, I don't think I could have started YouTube today because I wouldn't be successful?
Uh-huh. And that was in 2012.
That was a long time
or something.
Ago. Well, I was
2015.
Just going off of what you said, I'm like, no, I believe right now in my heart, I believe that if we started YouTube today and we were just barely getting started, I still believe we'd be as successful as we are.
I do too, because we didn't and won't give up. We would not give up.
And I think that's the key. Rather than when you started or who shouts you out.
Or how saturated it is.
Right. It's all about your dedication and your passion for what you're creating.
Yep.
So,
but I would suggest if you're doing it and you've tried and you've tried and you've tried and it's not working, change something.
Yeah.
Try something out. Just don't give up. Yep. Just change it.
Do something different.
Study.
Yeah.
Go. And that was a big part of what the YouTuber meetups helped us to do was like find new resources, find new ideas, find new collaborations. Yes. Like
I remember every time going and coming back with like a huge list of
absolutely
we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to change this. Like
every single time.
I remember talking about because we started going to those meetups while we were still with Maker Studios.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking,
this is doing so much more for us than Maker Studios ever has. Yeah.
After one meetup, we learned more and got more value than the network we were with. So it's just amazing being connected with a group of people that are like-minded, that are passionate.
That might have been a different scenario if we lived in California and went to like things that had,
I believe that.
But we needed that connection in person with people and to learn and to put ourselves out there and to make friends with people and be able to do some collaborations and stuff. It just opened up so many doors. It was really, really good.
And we did some fun collaborations.
Yeah.
And
it was like a secret group on Facebook.
Yes. Back when no one knew about it.
Now they were like we were like, oh, you want us to join this group? We would search it. It's not there. And they're like, oh, it's a secret group. You have to get invited to it. And we're like, secret group? We didn't even know there were secret groups on Facebook.
Oh, good memories.
Yeah.
It was such an exciting time. And what else is actually really
cool? And by the way, I can say, honestly, YouTubers sometimes can step on each other's toes unknowingly or not realize that somebody's taking offense to something or another. But I can honestly say that I have there's nobody in my mind that I'm like, oh, I don't like that person.
You have no ill will towards anyone.
Yeah, I really love all the people that are here in Utah and that are working so hard. And it's just, we got to all work together because we're all really just trying to survive. and thrive. And I just, even if somebody's doing way better than me, or if they're not, like, I wish they had the best. Like, I want them to have whatever's the best in their life. I don't want them to, like, I'm not going to look at somebody who's bigger than me and go, oh, I wish they would slow down or do, I'm not going to wish anything bad upon them. Like, I'm so happy that there's so many good people that are thriving and doing such a good job. It makes me so happy.
Me too.
It gives me, like, hope for the future,
Yeah, it's been disappointing to meet some creators that get this mentality of, like, it's a competition and
dog eat dog.
We're enemies, and if you're successful, then that's bad for me. Does that make sense? There are people out there that are like that.
Yeah.
But the majority of our friend group, at least, is like, awesome. They're going to be the first to high five you and pat you on the back when you're doing great. Because the way I see it, and I think the way they see it too, is if we win, everybody wins.
And I support that 100%. Like, and even the people that are dog eat dog, like, I still want them to be successful. Like, I really do.
Sure.
I want them to be successful because I feel like maybe if they are dog eat dog now, if they get what they are trying to get, they'll maybe mellow out and start thinking, how can I help other people? Or, like...
Well, another thing too, like, when you're on a platform and you're creating on that platform, you become an ambassador of that platform as a whole. Yeah. At least I do.
Yeah.
My mentality is, if there are people winning on YouTube, like, more power to them, because that only makes the platform stronger.
Yeah.
Which helps me because I want to create on that platform.
Totally.
And if the platform's stronger because of all the successful creators, that just means that I'm going to have more stability as a creator on that platform.
Yep. It's this, the more success is on YouTube, the more stable of a platform it is for income, for supporting your family.
So this episode's turning into like how to network and collaborate way more than it. We were going to talk about buying a house. I don't think we're even going to get to that because there's actually something else I want to talk about that happened before we bought a house. And that was your zombie baby maternity testing went viral before we moved.
Which it didn't. For the first few months, it did nothing. And I was
we posted it right before Halloween.
And I would show it to people and they would be like, that's creepy.
And
I was just like, I
mean, it did a little bit. It did better than usual.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the millions until February.
Yep.
It just exploded.
And what did we make? Like $5,000 in 1 month or something crazy?
Yeah, I think we made three
we were
or
like,
4 or 5. I think it got like 5 million views in a month.
It's happening.
In February.
It's happening.
We were like freaking out.
Yeah.
Because this was the first time we ever did, and we'd posted hundreds of videos
up
to this point. This is the first time we ever had one that actually like exploded.
Yeah.
We made like $3,000. I remember we made $3,000 in February because we matched my full-time income.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, wow, I could quit my full-time job right now because we're being supported by YouTube, and this has never happened before.
However, it was only with one video. Without that video, absolutely we could not have had enough money to survive.
Because I think we were only making like $500 or $600, maybe $700 a month without that video.
And that's a high risk, which especially now we know how high of a risk it was because it's not advertiser friendly now.
Yeah. At the time, we were just kind of like, whoa, this is going to last forever, kind of
we could quit our job. We could.
So we were still pretty naive in the process.
Yeah.
But we were also at a point where we're like, okay, we're getting close to the end of our contract because here it is February. Our contract ended in April, and we're like, we want to buy a house.
Yep.
We're in a position where I've been working for 2 years now.
Yep.
We've got enough like work history. We've got good credit. Like we've got a good savings now. Like I want to buy a house so bad, but I cannot, like, even though YouTube was now supporting us financially, I cannot quit my full-time job until first we have to close. We have to close on a house.
Yep.
So we're like, let's go find a house and close on it quick so that we can be able to quit my job after we close.
Mm-hmm.
I say that now and I'm like, oh, that just sounds bad.
In talking to the loan officer or whoever it was, the mortgage guy, he said lots of people do that. Because I was like...
They actually told us to do it.
Yeah, he said it's fine. It's totally fine. Just keep a good income until then.
Once you close, then you can do whatever you want.
Whatever you want, but until then, you have to do it like this.
Sometimes I wonder if they say that just so they can get their paycheck and get out of there.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because to them, technically, that's true. Like, hey, they get paid, they're gone, it closes. But at the same time, it is true. Like, as far as recording, once you own the house, then you can. So, like legally, you can do whatever you want. But before you close, you're under a microscope.
Yes. So, I want to remind you of something that I think you've completely forgotten about or failed to mention. I don't know.
Okay.
But you were actually kind of against buying a house at certain points of this process because you were frustrated. I mean, okay, let's look back into your daily routine. You had a full-time job,
right?
And then you would come home, film or edit.
Right.
We didn't have an editor. We didn't have any other help.
Right.
And you would just do all the work. And then I started saying, well, I'm looking at houses every single day. I want to make sure online that I'm up to date with what's the best deals. And at that time, the house that we were looking at actually was quite expensive for that time.
Yeah,
and you were like, we need to wait. This is too expensive. The market's going to crash. I know it's going to go down.
So
something's going to happen and we want to wait. You were like, we should wait. And I was like, no, I feel like it's the right time. I don't know why, but I think we need to do it.
So this was in the spring of 2016. The market in Utah at the time, the housing market was higher than it's been in years.
Ever. Yeah.
Not ever, but
right
years.
Before, it was the same about as before the market crashed in 2008.
It was the highest it's been in years.
Yeah.
It was recovering from the problems that had happened, 6 or 7 years before.
Mm-hmm.
And so because it was high, I remember thinking, this is a terrible time to buy. Let's keep renting.
This is a terrible price.
Let's keep saving. Let's keep renting. Let's keep saving. When the market comes back down, boom, that's when we buy.
Aren't you glad we didn't wait?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I told you so. Like right now.
But I just remember thinking, man, this is a terrible time to buy. What are we doing? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking more into it, and I was like, you know what? We can afford the payment.
Yep.
And it will be better than renting because we own.
And even if the market crashes, at least we'll have our own house and we'll still just keep making the high payment.
Yep. Even if the market crashes and we're upside down in the house, I'm not going to sell. Okay. We're not going to foreclose. We're going to keep the house.
We just made our minds up.
Yeah. We were dedicated to that resolve.
Yeah.
And we were making good money on YouTube. We were making good money at my job. So we had a great, as far as our income history, we were ready to buy this house.
Yep.
And we were ready to do it. And that video, the zombie maternity costume was just exploding.
Yep. So that helped with catching up,
so that helped
getting a little bit extra money.
Having some money for the down payment.
Yep.
But talk about the process of buying a house, because I was working full time and you did all of that.
I did it all, and you were like,
you're amazing.
You would come home and be like, complaining. This is too much work. And I'm like, all you have to do is sign this paper. All you have to do is grab this paperwork. It's okay.
With every house we bought, it's always like, they need all this stuff.
Yes, it's frustrating.
Why do they need more stuff?
It's not an easy process to buy a house, especially nowadays. It used to be, before the market crashed, a lot easier.
Can't they just trust that I'll make the payment?
They're like, no, we can't trust you.
Prove it.
Prove it. So yeah, I would wake up each day, look at all the houses on the market. Eventually we found one, and then an investor came in. We found one, and an investor came in and was like, I have $20,000 to put down. And I was like, and they're like, if you can beat this other offer, you can get this house. And I was like, we can't beat that. We had like $6,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had 20. And we were just like, yeah, we can't do that. So we lost out on a few different offers on different houses.
Because the investors were...
It was the price range we were looking at was for a home for a small family, which is perfect for investors. And
I think our budget was $200, right?
Yeah, we ended up going a little bit over, but it was, our budget was around there. Well, I mean, our budget was really, however cheap we could get that we were satisfied with. Right. But there just wasn't anything really available. It was less than that. It was like broken down houses less than 200,000. So yeah, woke up, would look at houses, then I would call the guy I was working with for financing because he was like, I've never worked with a YouTuber before. I don't know how any of this financial stuff works. And that is part of why it's been so difficult for us to buy houses, because they're just like, this is new, this is uncomfortable. YouTube's income will go up and down and up and down, or down, 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 and really high for, it's just so confusing and so unpredictable.
Right.
So that's something that when you go to buy a house is really hard to buy a house. Right. It's not like a normal job where you can say, I make this much each month.
Right.
And they're like, easy, okay. Your bank statements prove it. All I need is your bank statement. Like, it's so much more work, so much more labor intensive. But I would just work every single day on getting whatever paperwork he would ask for, and then eventually it worked out. I think we found a house that one of my friends actually owned in a ward that we had previously lived in, and it was really awesome.
Did she post it on Facebook? Like, hey, my house is for sale again?
No.
Because they were under contract and it fell through or something.
I don't think she didn't post it on Facebook. She posted it on like KSL or something.
Is that how you found it?
Yeah. Okay. I was like, this house looks familiar, but I don't know why. Uh-huh. And then like I looked at the name on it or whatever, and I was like, oh, I know them. I've been in that house. Like we actually had gone to that house for a Valentine's Day dinner or something like that. Yeah.
I don't think I remember that.
And it was really...
I mean, I don't think I went to the house, did I?
I don't know. I might have just gone by myself.
Yeah. I don't remember.
For Valentine's. No. Yeah, I think I did go by myself. I think it was like a progressive dinner, and it might not have been for Valentine's, but it was really fun.
Society thing or
yeah. Anyways, so we ended up buying our friend's house. And cool. Everything worked out. We had to borrow some money. It was still more expensive than we could even afford at that time.
Just for closing, we had to borrow some money from my dad.
It was a leap of faith. Yeah.
But then we got it.
And it was our first home. And we actually owned it. And at the time, it was stretching our budget far beyond. It was
it was discount. Because we were paying $1,400 a month at the rental.
Oh, yeah, it was less.
House, yes. And we were paying $1,200.
But initially, to get it, it stretched our budget far beyond.
Just for the down payment.
Yes.
And the closing costs were so many thousands of dollars because you have to put, 10%.
Is this the most boring episode? And I'm not saying that because you were talking. I know I did that a few episodes ago, but just talking about
really
just talking about buying houses, like this is probably just adult talk.
You should have your own podcast just for you to go on and on about all the most interesting things.
Buying a house to someone who's not an adult, I think, isn't very interesting because it's just so out of their mind,
We also talked about the Pins and Things video going viral and the YouTuber meetups and making friends and social interactions.
Okay, but there is a fine line where it's like you start talking adult things that adults only are excited about. You're like, this is so exciting.
How many kids are really watching these podcasts?
I guess that's a good point.
You're probably right. Adults. I'm just being honest.
Send us a message through this and tell us if you're an adult or a child listening to this.
You can send us messages.
Why not?
Ask us a question. Whatever you want to do.
Tell us your age. Randomly. Just kidding.
But I'd be curious to find out.
Yeah.
I think most people listening are adults.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
The topics we talk about are not for kids. Hey, kid,
let's talk about buying a house.
Right.
Let's talk about my favorite vacuum. Which I do have a favorite vacuum, by the way. Anyways.
So, we bought our own house and we moved out of the rental, and it was like, wow, like just the feeling of owning. It's like every time I make a payment on this house, it's not going into somebody else's pocket. It's like
that was
equity.
So nice.
I own more of this house.
Nice. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's like, that's the feeling that I've always wanted my whole life as an adult. And even as a teenager, I wanted to buy a house.
It was so frustrating getting to that point. But once we were at that point, it was just like, finally, our dreams are coming true.
Yeah, it's happening. And now that we closed on the house, I was like, okay, we're closed on the house. I was like, okay, well, we borrowed money. We got to pay that back. That's going to take a couple months. And I want to be able to have like some savings saved up. So that's going to take a couple months. So it's like, even after we closed on the house, I was like, I still can't quit my full-time job.
No.
Even though YouTube's still bringing in $3,000 a month, I was like, I need to keep working. So we closed, in April?
Yes.
And
because general conference, that's how I always remember.
So I was thinking I want to work for like 5 more months. I think I remember saying I'm going to work for 5 or maybe 6. I'm going to work for 6 months. And
we'll get to a point where we'll work our butts off.
I was thinking, if this video is still going viral in 6 months, if this video is still because I wasn't just going to turn around and quit my job and then have the video tank. Because I knew enough to know that they go up and down.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it's still doing good in 6 months, then I'll quit my job.
Yeah.
And that was my mentality. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about
how we jumped the gun and quit a lot sooner. Even though that was not financially a good decision. So, but it was a good decision because we felt prompted by God to do it like that.
Right. So we'll talk more about that next time. Yep. But until then, we just want to say thank you so much for listening to Beach Theory. This is a fun episode. We talked a lot about a few things that I wasn't expecting to get as much into, but I'm glad we did.
Me too.
I think we could have a full episode just talking about that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so interesting.
About collaborations and other YouTubers. No, I was just kidding.
Maybe we'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can listen to us anywhere you can find podcasts. Anchor is my favorite, but we're also on Apple Podcasts.
What are some of the
Spotify,
videos that we
Google
filmed?
Podcasts?
Oh, the biggest video that we filmed in the house that we were just talking about was the zombie music video. So we were like playing on the innocent zombie idea with the other one that did so well, and we were like, well, let's do another one
with some good friends.
Yeah, let's turn Disney princesses into zombies and then make a whole bunch of money off of that.
And our wonderful sound technician who is helping us with this podcast today, Cody Crab, he actually composed the music for that collaboration video too.
I was like, why is he pointing to me?
You forget the most important
I
part.
know. And
the song was amazing.
And it was so good.
So anyway, we're wrapping up here. If you want to watch us video, we're also on YouTube Beach Theory. You can subscribe.
Maybe we'll put a little clip of that video in there.
Yeah, so
that's a good idea.
Check it out.
Cool.
Until next time.
All right.
Beach Theory out. Pop the game.
That's so weird.
Bye.
Bye.